And we are live. Hello, Mr. Proctor. How you doing tonight? Look like we're just going to be me and you on the show. That's all right. We didn't have a whole lot to talk about tonight, but we're going to give it a good throwdown and see what comes of it. Mr. James Burke made my custom rods. We're going to talk about a few things that's been on my mind while I've been working. Junior, I got my shower done. Well, I ain't got my shower done. I got a lot of the tile up today that's been aggravating the crap out of me. I bought 4, maybe 5 different ceramic tile cutoff blades. Well, one of them I bought the wrong one. I was looking and reading one and grabbed one, and it wasn't the right one. And but all the tile saw blades that I went through, I kept busting them $high tiles, and so I changed the way what I was actually doing, and ended up putting up decorative tiles around the faucet head. Couldn't get it cut. Every time I went to cut one, it was busting tile, so I had to do a little change up. But so building must have a ghost in it. Set of clothes just sitting, fell off the rack, and I wasn't nowhere near them. As long as they don't attack, we good to go. 2 people? Everybody must be busy. They ought to be in the house out of this freaking heat. Kelly, call me after the show. What's up, Frank? And Mark Dillon, Mr. Junior Proctor. Everybody come on in. I was worried I was going to be late. I had to run through the shower and get up here. Yeah, some of them ghost floats stirring up trouble. Congratulations, Chad. I'm going to drop a link out here. And if anybody wants to come in, y'all welcome to come in. Didn't really have nothing planned tonight. Got a few things I do want to talk about. But if anybody wants to jump in, shout out their channel, please come on in. I'm going to drop the link. Well, I said I was. There it is. I put the link in there. If anybody wants to drop in, come on in. We'll have a little fun tonight. Yeah, congratulations, Chad. I'm glad you finally got your 1,000 back, buddy. I know it was a long, tough road, but you got her and done good. What's up, Mike's Outdoors? Chrissy Brown, thank you for coming in, sweet lady. But tonight I want to talk about, I'm trying to let a few more people get in here. Big Grinch catfishing. Yep, the link's in the chat. If anybody wants to drop in, say hey, shout your channel out, sit down and talk with us a little bit. And don't forget, guys and gals, new channels, check them out. Share the love, share the bait. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up before we get this show started. But I want to talk a little bit about the drama that's in the catfish world. And I seen it come through the bass world back when I was a big-time bass fisherman. And it really destroyed a lot of friendships, a lot of good people that was fishing partners parted ways, and it was really sad to watch. What's up, Ace Catfishing? And I really hate to see it in the catfish world. Now, I haven't been on social media a lot here lately, working on my bathroom and other things I've got going on, and y'all know that and know the story of what's going on. I got the towel laid in my shower. I'm just about through with it. I'll be finishing it up tomorrow and starting in the bathroom portion itself, all but grouting. What's up, P&B Catfishing, Mr. Paul Boyd? But as far, I don't know all the drama and the details. I know the one where I got called out by somebody. And really, Yeah, I can give him a pat on the back for doing that because I gained about 36 subscribers from him, so it don't matter to me. He can talk junk. If he's talking junk about me, he's giving somebody else a break. What's up, Avid? And Ashley Brady. But the other drama is, I mean, stuff like that is crazy. That with that person, you can expect that kind of junk. He's done it to Dieter. He's done it to so many other people that, what's up, Mr. J.R. Warskow? Y'all check out Junior. Great guy, great channel. He's helped me out tremendously. He let me borrow his tile cutter. He's a dear friend. I can call him a brother. So check him out. Check each other out, guys and gals. But one of the things that bothered me, what's up, Anthony Duckworth? Thank you for coming in, is that products. The catfishing world is big enough for everybody. If each and every one of you decided to come out with a product, the catfish world's big enough for it. There's enough people and enough. What's up, Mike Costello, and want to be outdoors? All right, buddy, we'll be here waiting on you. Well, there's Mr. Proctor coming in the house with us. What's up, Junior? Oh,
I've been working. I ain't had time to do much of nothing.
I had about a 5-day on me. I had to run through the shower when they got out of all that daggum tile dust and stuff. But anger of the ball. I hope you wasn't out in that heat all day today.
Well, no, in and out of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it's been hot.
Yeah.
And buildings don't have air conditioners in them when you're building them.
Yeah, well, that's true. And sometimes inside them buildings can be more miserable than being outside because it holds all the humidity.
Yeah, there ain't no air stirring in them.
No, I used to hate it back years ago when all the houses, everybody was going with wallpaper.
Yeah.
And we'd go in them brand new houses in the wintertime, it'd be colder inside the house than it was outside. And then the summertime, it was hotter inside than it was outside. So it wasn't a win-win. But Junior, what I was wanting to talk about, and and I'm glad you come in because you can give your 2 cents on it too. You're like me; we don't deal with the drama, we don't get into the drama, and we don't put our 2 cents in most of the 99% of the time.
No,
but when you get a chance, you'll get back to building your planer boards.
Oh yeah.
And I make the floats. Chris Flores, his buddies got floats out there on the market. A lot of different people's got planer boards. You got dragon weights. You got all different kind of stuff. Tons of different kind of rods and reels and things like that.
Oh, yes.
There's room out there for all of them, ain't there?
Oh, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I mean, most time people like to buy locally when it can. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it can be spread out everywhere, from town to town for all that matters. I mean, they still going to sell, but there's plenty of room out there for people to come in and do that.
Right. And I mean, I understand competition. I really do. And I guess some people take it a little more seriously than others. And that's fine. I don't compete with anybody else but myself.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at my product, I'm always looking, how can I make my product a better product for the people that are going to use it?
Oh, yeah. I do the same thing. Just like on these planer boards, I've done something just a little different from the last ones that I've sold. So I'm trying to make them better and better.
Right. And you've got an idea that works perfect for you because I love your planer boards because especially in the wintertime, a lot of people still like to drag baits. And with your planer boards, they will pull out at very, very low speeds without having to rush it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give a few shout outs. I see Muskrat's in the house tonight. Great show last night. Roger, I'm sorry I didn't get in chat. Freddie's Outdoor. Jose Catfishing. Who else? Big Rich. If I missed y'all guys and gals, I apologize.
Muskrat.
But, Roger. good old boy. Mr. Billy Davis is a friend of mine. He lives up there right outside of Shelby, right there next to Forest City. Great old gentleman. Met him, and he bought some of my very first floats, and then bought a line of the second ones. And I got to meet him, and he knew my wife's mother. They went to school and stuff together, so it was pretty neat to meet. He knew a lot of the history around Shelby and stuff, so that was pretty neat. Plus, he's a veteran, so even better. But yeah, as far as like rods and reels and floats and anything boats, and a lot of people have such strong opinions about the product that they use that they don't really want to accept or I don't know the proper words, or give credit
to
to
anything
other
else.
products.
Yeah.
And in today's technology, there ain't much difference in a lot of stuff.
Mm-mm.
I'm a Chevy guy. I've drove Chevys all my life, and I've owned Fords. My father owned Fords, but I'm one of these people. I mean, they all look good, but in today's technology, they really ain't much difference in the vehicles as far as reliability and stuff like that. Mr. Brian B, there's Miss D's in the house. Hey, Miss D. So that's what I'm saying. I see a lot of it, the rods, and a lot of these guys are bashing other companies. What's up, Mark? And I don't see it. To me, that's bad business.
Yeah.
I don't care how good your product is. To me, that's bad business. And I would never, and y'all have heard me 1,000 times on here when I'm talking floats. I'll tell you, whether you use my floats, the Flores floats, or just tie on a Coke bottle or a balloon, it's not about the product that's out there. It's about using that tool to help you catch more fish.
Yeah.
Or even if it don't help you catch more fish, float fishing's fun.
Yeah. Well, and also it's also what you can afford.
Right.
That's a big deal. You ain't gotta go spend all that money.
No.
You put good products out there. I mean, I've got big cat fever rods, but I use Shakespeare rods. So I got a garage full of rods and reels down there. And
Them freaking ugly sticks.
you just
Them ugly sticks are about like a 22 rifle.
Yeah.
22's probably killed more people than all the guns put together. And them ugly sticks has probably caught more catfish than all the rods and reels out there on the market today. Who's that puppies?
That's Boo Boo. That's the old Blue Dog team there.
There you go. Hey, Boo Boos.
That's old Blue. That's my wife's dog. He has to go with us on the boat all the time.
That's the one we see on the boat. He had to come up and give you some love, didn't
he? Yeah, he did. But if you look at my stuff, I don't have $high reels. You know what I fish with? Cash King Rovers. You know what I'm saying? For $50.
Right.
And I've been using them for years. Since they first started coming out with the Rovers, and I ain't got a problem with them.
I'm the same way, Junior. Now, right. I've got Abus, but I've only bought one of my Abus brand new, and that's because I put it on that Burke rod, and I wanted the blue ones, and you can't find them unless they want you to buy all four.
Yeah.
They sell them in a 4, and I couldn't afford that, so I ended up buying one new one, and then luckily I found a used one. But all of mine come out of either pawn shops or bought used, and I just took and had them rebuilt.
Yeah, I mean, people can search around pawn shops and get what they want. I mean, you can get some catfish rods there too. I mean, and like I say, I mean, there ain't no sense, down talking another product out there and all that. There's enough room in this industry for all of them.
Yes, they are,
and it really is. And but it's just a lot of times it's like what you prefer. One may be a little stiffer than the other. I mean, when people learn what they prefer, that's what they'll usually go and stick with. And but I don't know why people want to start all that drama and all that. I ain't into all that.
No,
I don't
and to me,
in on it.
No, and to me, it can actually discourage some of the new people coming into the catfish industry. And
Yeah.
we are not to discourage, but encourage.
Yeah.
If Junior, if your planter boards, when you get back to really building into them, if they had take off and become the best on the market, and I was building planter boards, I wouldn't be upset. I'd pat you on the back for your success.
Mm-hmm. And I might even have some of yours too.
Well, yeah.
You
And
know.
you know what I'm saying? I would have to say, well, then I'd have to look at my product and say, all right, what am I doing wrong?
Well, the thing is, there's so many planter boards out there, so many products. Some's heavier than others, lighter than others, and some for different
Right.
types of application of fishing.
Right.
You got crappie boards, you've got striper boards, and of course these catfish boards that ones I build are pretty good size. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I mean, but these boards out there's plenty out there for the industry. Not to be bad mouthing other people.
Right.
And but that goes on. Some people wants to do that and just to get something started. You know.
All right, guys, we got a troll in here. Get rid of them. I'll take care of it. Right, I got you. I got it.
Get it.
I mean, I just it's what you can afford as long as you're just getting out there and enjoying what the good Lord's blessed us with.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly right. And you don't have.
I mean, go ahead.
You don't even have to have a boat to fish for catfish, bank fish or whatever. But if you do want a boat, you don't have to go buy the most expensive thing out there. I mean, if it's a John boat, whatever you feel comfortable fishing in, whatever you can afford to make it happen to enjoy fishing. That's what it's about, to enjoy the fishing.
Yeah, Frank, you're exactly right. We can, we would do a lot better, and I think me and you talked about it yesterday or the day before yesterday. I done lost track of time. Is that, and I'm gonna bring up. I don't mean to bring politics into it, and I'm really not. Because that guy just got rid of him for bringing politics into the show. But when we had Trump in office, and they fussed and raised Cain because they thought he was trying to be friends with Putin. He was trying to be friends with North Korea. He was trying to be friends with all these other countries. And other people were too small-minded to realize, think about it. If America got along with all of the people that are supposedly our enemies, we'd probably be done flying amongst the stars right now.
Mm-hmm.
If all the human beings could get together as one, there's nothing that we could not accomplish.
Right. And that's
And
the
that's
same with the catfish industry. Everybody get together, then just help promote the industry. It will be a much better deal.
And that was one of the reasons I had my very first tournament. It was a YouTube only tournament, and was to help, because before that, none of the YouTubers had ever got to meet, never got to put a name with a face, shake a hand, hug a neck. And I thought, this is a perfect way to bring these people together and get them into one accord, so any new people coming in would get the proper information for the best way to handle catfish, get them back in the water alive for our kids, our grandbabies, and our great grandbabies to be able to catch those fish.
That's
And
right.
if somebody comes in and sees us fighting and feuding and arguing over this and that, well, one thing, it causes confusion, because they ain't going to know, well, what rod and reel would actually fit them.
That's exactly right.
So, I just wanted to touch base on that a little bit, because don't get me wrong, I'm just as competitive as the next person, but I would get rid of everything that I make floats with before I would actually go in and bash another man's product. If you don't like that product, don't be a social warrior, whatever. Just don't buy it.
Yeah, that's right. And don't badmouth to keep other people from buying it. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you go.
You know, uh, but especially so much bad mouthing people's doing that don't even have a product that they build that they probably hadn't even ever used the product that they're bashing over
Yeah,
other products. I mean, that just don't make sense. You know.
it don't. There's Miss Annette Morgan. There's Art from Art. Congratulations. I see where he just become sponsored by Big Cat Fever. So congratulations, Art.
Yep. Congratulations.
Brian B. Brian B said something a little while ago. Let me see if I can find it, Junior. It was to you, and we was talking. Brian, put that back. Oh, Junior sealed the deal for me to get that Adeline rod rack after watching his videos 100 times.
Yeah, and that Adeline rod rack now is my grandson because I give that boat to my grandson. So the one that fished with me all the time. So that is his boat now.
You,
So
oh, there's LG Bass in the house with us tonight. Who else we got coming in here? Yeah, that's are you going to try to redesign something for your pontoon, or are you going to leave it on like that most people do on the fencing?
I've got it on the back rails of the boat now, but I got it set up just like the other boat.
Oh,
You
I
know,
hear you.
so it's set up just like the pontoon is set up just like now. Granted, this pontoon's only 18 foot,
Right.
but my old fat butt is less likely to fall out of this one. I don't stumble around in this one like I did the other one.
Yep. Yeah, it's I mean, they got their pros and their cons, you know.
Yeah, well, I was surprised at the wind on this one right here in 15, 20 mile an hour gusts, how it handled it, So I was real surprised. I think a lot of times um, uh, it blew my little boat around more than it did this pontoon boat. Let me let this old blue dog out.
Okay. Uh Yep. Now I'll drop the link back in chat, guys and gals. If any of you want to come in and sit down and talk with us a little bit, come on in. Uh, yeah. Now tell the people kind of what you figured out about how you're going to troll using that pontoon as to the way you did your other boat.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I fish with it the same way, except I use it's an 80-pound thrust trolling motor on this one. But I throw a drift sock out no matter what. 99% of the time I'm throwing a drift sock out when I'm dragging.
Right.
That way I can control my speed a whole lot better, and it keeps the boat from zigzagging in the back, and especially when the wind's blowing. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? But from the last, I mean, I've had it out probably about 4 trips now. I think it is, Angie. About 4 trips, and I have been real impressed. And me and Doug went to Monticello, and he put I don't know, 25, 30 pound in the boat. We got into some 20 mile an hour gusts up there, and it done real good. But I seen it coming across the water, and so I kind of faced into it a little bit. But it really impressed me on the wind. I always heard bad things about pontoons for people that wants to drag like I do about
Yeah.
wind control. Well, I think I'm liking it pretty good. I mean, it's just surprising me so far.
Right. Yeah, I see where Frank's talking about he stuffed the bow of the boat in about 15 minutes. And that's something learning the pontoon boat and having the proper horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, you want a pontoon boat, you don't want it to run flat. You want it to run with the nose up.
Right.
Uh, and if you got enough weight, and if you don't have enough horsepower, then you can transfer some weight to the back of your boat to
Yeah.
get that nose up so you don't nose it so bad.
Right.
Because you can nose a pontoon quicker than you can a V-hull. Because a V-hull wants to cut that water out of your way a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all in learning your boat.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you use it, the more I knew when you told me you was getting that son of a gun, I said, he'll be at home now, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I still like a little bit of wiring to do on it and getting live well and stuff in it, where I can take it in and out easy. But other than that, I'm real pleased with it so far. And
Okay.
my wife's real pleased. She wants to go a little more often now.
Well, I seen you was filming, and she took off up the water and left you on the dock in one of them, did you?
Yeah, I went to get the boat or get back the trailer in the water, and I was gonna let her put it on the trailer and turned around and I heard her revving it up, and there she goes in it. So I had to film it. You know? But yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's good for her to learn to operate the boat and stuff like that too, because I mean, we don't know what might happen out on the water, and she might have to, and then some days you might want to sit in her chair and let her drive you around.
Yeah, well, I did that this past weekend. I sit over on the side and let her drive me some.
There you go.
But and one thing about it is all my grandkids now. I can get all my grandkids on a fishing trip now.
That's exactly what you read my mind. I was getting ready to say that about the grandbabies. You can load them down and take them, and they can swim and just, I mean, and I think you got enough horsepower to probably pull a couple tubes behind you.
Oh yeah. I put that 70 on it. That's on the other boat, and
Right.
the one that 40 is actually on the pontoon. I put it on Ethan's boat.
There you go. What's the maximum horsepower for that 18-foot?
75. Yeah, 75.
Oh, so you're right there at it. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
And yours is a 4-stroke, ain't it?
Yes. Yeah. That engine's a 2016 or 17, I think it is.
Right. Oh yeah, it's you'll mess around and get you a daggum. You'll get you an enclosure made for that son of a gun. So wintertime, y'all can sit out there and camp all the time on the water.
Yeah. I do have some clear tarp material, clear tarps I ordered, and I've got some clamps. I can just clamp it around the sides up there and just take it down real easy.
I'm gonna have to talk to you about where you get that stuff at.
I actually ordered that offline, but I see if I can find the link, and but I just use them big wood clamps, just to clamp it up around it, keep the rain or the water,
And it's heavy enough that it don't blow around real easy, does it?
Oh yeah, it ain't gonna blow around easy.
Okay, I hear you.
I forget what mill it was.
Right. Now you was talking about using your planer boards on that. I mean, not your planer boards, but your sock, your drift sock. Mm-hmm. And you think that 10-footer is a good size for still being able to drag baits with it without putting so much wear and tear on your trolling motor.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm gonna put wear and tear on that trolling motor. That's what I use it for. I mean,
right.
It's like on that other boat. I'm gonna put wear and tear on it now. I mean, because that's the way that I want to use it. When you do that, also, them trolling motors is made for weight. For a certain amount of weight and stuff like that, and just as long as you can, keep it, moving and all that, as long as you just don't, bog it down good. But I have to run it on that pontoon boat because when I got that trolling motor in low gear, it wants to put me at 0.5, so I have to put the drift sock out to keep me at 0.3. That's in low gear.
I noticed that with mine. It don't take a whole lot of trolling motor to move that pontoon around.
No. So that worked out real well.
There's Mr. Maurice Cason in here.
Maurice.
Good to see you in here, my friend. I ain't seen you in here in a little while. There's Lance. Yeah, it was a hot one out there today, but so let's change it up a little bit, Junior. Like I said, guys and gals, if anybody wants to drop in with us and sit and talk with me and Junior, come on in. We're just sitting shooting the breeze tonight, and there is the link. I'm still seeing some summertime catfish tournaments going on. So that means there's going to be catfish being held in live wells. Let's talk a little bit about live wells. I've got a design that I come up with. Not everybody runs the Venturis. I totally understand that. A lot of people run bubblers or run their water through a spray bar. I like the Venturi because it gives out 10 billion tiny, tiny bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it sucks air from outside. That air is hot, guys. that means you're pumping hot air right into that water, and it will raise the water temperature. Hot water does not hold oxygen real well. What I do is I've got a little bitty cooler, one of the little collapsible coolers that's got the real thick foam. It ain't a Yeti, but it's up there close to the Yeti soft coolers. And what I done, Junior, is I took me about 20 foot of 1/4-inch copper line, and I stick it down inside of there, and I drop 2 of those ice blocks like you put in your freezer for. Put them ice blocks in there, and I leave the zipper open, just a little bit on the side of that thing. And on the other side, that copper line comes out, and I put my air line to it. So that cold copper, you pulling all that air through that 20 foot of copper line, now you're blowing cold bubbles into your water. And you can drop a thermometer in there, guys and gals, and you can actually watch your water temperature start dropping. Now, I don't want you to get your water so cold that when you take those fish out of hot water and drop them in, you can put them in shock. The same way around. When you get ready to release them, you want that water temperature to rise some, then you can release them so it does not shock them. That's like jumping out a 100-degree day at the beach and jumping on those enclosed pools that's cold sun. It'll go.
That's right. But yeah, that's a good idea. I run the spray bar and the aerator, and in the summertime, and I change my water, every 45 minutes.
Right.
I go ahead and I'll drain it down and put fresh water in it. But I try not to fish tournaments in summertime. They got some night tournaments, but still, yet the water temperature
that's
still
what I'm talking about, night tournaments.
The water's still warm. It's just hard to keep fish up in the summertime. And back to first year of Mid Carolina, we had some that went through the summer, and it was just too hard on the fish. So we quit that. Our last tournament started being in May.
Right. And I mean, I learned that because I was running one of those little bubblers to try to keep my brim and stuff alive. Well, they'd stay alive longer in that water without no air going in it than they would that hot daggum. Because you think about it, guys, those bubblers ain't nothing but a compressor. You sucking hot air in, the compressor's building hot air anyway. So what I would do first, I just dropped my little old my little pump into that daggum ice bag.
But in summertime,
go ahead.
In the summertime, and what I've learned on my bubblers and stuff like that is just the best to run a spray bar because you're circulating the water. It's in the live well, and it's making the bubbles when it that water splashes in there. It seems like that worked better, and just to keep your water changed real often. Just make sure when you start it, you got good batteries. It's up. Because I changed it because I changed the water quite often.
Okay, now I'm gonna give some people, when you was just talking about that, a little something else to think about, and you can either like it or not like it, but I want your 2 cents on what I'm getting ready to say, Junior. And I said it in that one video I made about live wells. Most people have their spray bars. All right, computer, don't try to restart. They'll have their spray bar shooting almost straight down into the water. Water with evaporation is a coolant. It can really cool. So what I done before I thought about that Venturi air thing was I dropped my spray bars down to close to where the surface of the water is, and then I turned them to where that spray was running almost across the whole water surface. And instead of closing my lid, if I wasn't running down the water and was worried about a fish jumping out, I would leave that lid open. Reason being, now you don't build an environment of humid air. You allow that air to go out. This water can evaporate. It works about like a cooling tower does. cooling tower works on evaporation. 10 million little bubbles can evaporate faster than one big bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So guys and gals that are fishing these summer tournaments, you don't even have to put copper line. I like copper line simply because, well, copper's so high right now. Just get you 50 foot of just plain old airline and put it in that thing. You don't have to stick the other end outside. Just leave it inside. Just open it up where it can get the air through the zipper part of it, or drop it in your cooler, either one. And you will be amazed at the temperature change in your water. And your fish will be a lot livelier. Now, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
There's moonlight fishing, crappy day fishing. There's Mr. Wampus Cat. He's at work tonight, so he might have to disappear on us a little bit. I hope he don't. Irvin, I hope I didn't miss anybody. Joe Newman's in the house with us. Are you going to use the live well that you use in your boat, or are you going to build you a new live well for that?
No, I'm going to use live wells in the old boat.
I hear you.
Ethan's just going to have to suffer without one.
If he's going to have to get him some meters, he might be able to borrow it or something, can't
he? Yeah. I'll put him a toolbox live well in there. I'll build him a toolbox live well put in there for him.
There you go. Yeah, those Venturis was amazing when they first come out. I seen them, and I got to looking at them. I thought, well, that's the same thing I use in my garden for sucking up Miracle Grow.
Mm-hmm.
The liquid fertilizer siphon. Yeah. It's the same thing. So that's what I use. It's because if you take it out of the liquid fertilizer, it sucks air.
Yeah.
And it creates 10 billion little bubbles. You know, and I know a lot of people throw frozen Coke bottles or whatever in there, let them float around, and that works to an extent, but
yeah, well, I do that, but it ain't frozen Coke bottles. I freeze whole milk jugs and put in there.
Yeah.
You know,
but
they'll last a little while. You know,
right.
They'll last a pretty good while. You take about 3 of them in another cooler, and that will last you through a tournament.
Yeah,
the average hour tournament. You know,
right.
6 hours.
I just figured with this Venturi and the air bubbles, and I set my Venturi at the bottom, so the time it goes across the bottom and then rises up to the top, you've cooled the whole water column inside there, so you got an even cooler. And there's Moonlight Fishing. That's a new one, guys. Appreciate you coming in, Moonlight. Don't forget, guys, share the love, share the bait. Come on in, guys. Somebody drop in and talk with us. So what's your next thing you plan on doing to your pontoon?
Well, probably wiring lights up on it now, because I went through just because it's me and took every wire out of it. You know, I've got the main lights now as far as my switches and stuff, but I haven't been fishing at night, so my next step is getting the running lights and stuff on the boat. You know, your anchor light and stern light, and I'm putting a new fuse block panel system and everything in it.
I hear you. Now, do you do use the zinc coated wire, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's up, Crystal Martin? Yeah, a lot of people
road on you.
Yeah, that zinc is there because a lot of people don't realize 2 different metals connecting. Actually, you're having a chemical reaction
called electrolysis.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And you can have trouble with fuses. You can have trouble with connections, with switches even, because of that. So I know the zinc coated wire is a little more expensive, people, but once you do it, that you're eliminating one of the problems that you might run into.
Yeah, because all the wires that I took out of this boat were corroded. They was copper coated. I mean, they was copper wired.
Yeah,
and they was just nasty. It's one of anything you want. I mean, the boat's a 1999 model,
right?
But just in them few years, it was. Well, I say few years. It's
right.
Just a boat, but I mean, they were even the coating on the wires was brittle.
Yeah.
So the first thing you got to do when you're doing something like that is just might as well take it all completely out and redo it. And luckily, the pontoon boat ain't as bad as some of these other boats. You know what I'm saying?
Now, are you gonna run your wire through a piece of conduit or something?
Yes, I have been. Yeah.
That'll help keep water out of there and keeping that water. You're right. When I ripped that other pontoon apart and ripped all the wires out of it, every one of them the copper was coated. It had some where that copper had started corroding and stuff like that. Every one of those wires, and if you peel back up in it, it ain't just right there on the edge that you see.
No, it's all the way through.
It'll be all the way through that copper wire. Oh, I had a gnat fly up my freaking nose. I don't know about y'all. We've been having those little old dog gnats around our house. It's driving me freaking nuts.
Yeah, and Angie's she's gonna take and wrap it. Me and her's gonna wrap it, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap the whole boat.
I hear you. Yeah, you let me know how that goes for you. I'd love to get you to make me up some wraps for mine. Well, I'm gonna have to wait because if something else comes through for me, then I'll just have the whole cotton picking boat wrapped.
Yeah.
Make it a floating advertisement.
Yeah.
But
I'm still waiting on them decals now.
Yeah, I done got them ordered, Junior. Yep, I've got them ordered, and I like them. They got the UV protected in them. Like I said, I got one on my coffee cup. It's been on there for, 4 years now. One on the back side of my truck. I finally peeled it off, and I put my big one on the back of my camper shell. So, and it was stuck good. It hadn't peeled up or nothing, so they're good. Now, I'm going to ask all y'all in chat and Junior too. My webpage, about 2.5 more weeks, it should be up and running. The people that prints my shirts and stuff, all my shirts y'all see, they can do a lot of multiple items. What are some of the things that y'all would like to see being sold besides my floats on my page? What's up, Mike Irvin? I want to offer shirts, possibly hats. I don't know if they can print hats or not, but possibly hats. They got somebody that can do the hats. Coffee mugs, like the ceramic coffee mugs and the Yeti, the tall Yeti looking mugs. Maybe some koozies. Anything else, guys, that y'all know of that y'all would like to see being sold?
Oh, you give me time and I'll think of some stuff.
Yeah. The reason is that these people are good people, and y'all can look him up. His name is Anthony Pope. Look him up on YouTube, guys, and give him a subscriber. He is an amazing country singer. He's about blind, great people, good Christian people. But this son of a gun can sing like nobody's business. His son's a little bit young thing and self-taught on piano, guitar, and all this stuff. He's just like a prodigy. But great people, and I'm trying to give them the business also. So when it's up and running, y'all will see their link on there. So when you order shirts or whatever, the link will go straight to them. They'll get it out.
How about some them towels with the hooks on them for wraps? For washing, wiping your hands, cut bait, type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, hand towels.
Yeah.
We're looking into doing that. Her mother's actually got an embroidery machine she bought a couple years ago, and it's still in the freaking box. So she's trying to talk her mama out of that embroidery machine. I've got somebody else that are probably one of the best embroiderers I ever seen in my life, but I can't get her to produce the product in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wish they could, because I could keep her busy, because I'd rather have my hats embroidered or And guys, tell me what kind of hats, because the last hats I got, some people didn't really like them because they was like the old Farmer John hats. They was soft cloth all over. And I know people
Well,
like
probably two styles, you know, a summer hat and a winter hat. You know
right.
And
some of those cotton picking hats are expensive as crap without anything on them.
Yep. Yep.
So, but I don't want to produce a cheap hat either. You know, because if you do
cap top hats, you know, I don't like the real tall ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm like you. Now, a lot of people like them old big trucker hats or whatever. I kind of don't, but if y'all like them, then you need to let me know.
Some people will like them.
Yeah. So you need to let me know. Also, go on there. The link is I don't think I got it on here. It's being worked on right now. I'm trying to pull something up so I can put that link in there. I don't know if it's going to let me do that or not. No, I'm trying something else. I'm trying to figure out a way to copy link. Here we go. Here, guys, we're going to, there's the link. Well, I don't know what I just done. We'll see. There's the link, guys.
Yeah.
To my website. I guess I don't know what all those extra letters and stuff are.
Mike Irvin.
Say what?
I don't know. I seen it might come in there. Yeah, there's a whole lot of linking come in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have done something wrong, guys and gals. Now I done got something up I can't get rid of. How do I get that off my freaking page? Oh, there it went.
There you went.
You had to double tack it. But anyway, the link will be up, guys. You can join. I'm gonna have a weekly newsletter that comes out. Go on there and let me know some of the things that you like about the floats. And even if you don't like some of the things about the floats, let me know. Junior, because that's what I want to ask you. Bad information is just about as good information.
That's exactly right. Can't knock bad information because it can help you make a better product.
Yeah. I mean, now I ain't expecting people to come in there and start bashing and talking junk and talking down. But if you have a problem, and guys and gals, I would prefer if you're having a problem with your float, contact me. Don't put it out there on social media. Let's figure out what's going on with you. And if it's something that I can't figure out, then we'll post it out there and all of us will get together and try to figure out the problem. And it don't have to be with my float. It could be with something that you think you're doing wrong fishing. If you need some help, contact us. If I can't figure it out, we'll get a hold of Junior. Junior can't figure it out, we'll get a hold of somebody that help you figure out what you got going on and to help you catch more fish. I just got another order. Damn, down to 22 people. I figured everybody be inside in the air conditioner right now. But I'm also looking at for wintertime, Junior, is maybe some hoodies.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And probably some zip-up hoodies. I like zip-up hoodies. Because when you got an old fat head like mine, sometimes you don't want to go through the hole at the top very easily.
So I've noticed that some of them daggum hoodies has got a small neck hole in them. And I'm looking at maybe getting some that's got the vinyl on there and maybe have some upgraded ones that's actually embroidered on it. I've got one for myself that's embroidered that I love it. But it ain't the floats. It's actually Patriot Catfishers of America. But and I'm gonna be offering stickers too, and probably 2 different size stickers. And I mean that's the same way, guys and gals. Next week's show, if you make a product, I ain't talking about setting up a store and selling products that's made by somebody else. If you make a product, contact me. Next week's show, I would love to do it with people that produce products for sale And I mean, it don't even have to be in the catfish world. It can be in just the fishing world. But what's up, Buck Williams? Only problem he has with my floats is he don't have any. Buck, contact me. We'll set you right up. Yeah, we'll set you up, my friend. And if you have questions, and that's what I try to tell people, a lot of times I get people, Junior, and you might have done the same thing when you was selling your planer boards. People will start asking certain little questions. You think, I don't think this person's ever used them before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so a lot of times I tell them to call me because I want you to get, like I said, guys, I don't care whose floats you use. If you buy something from me, I want to make sure that you know that you're going to get what you need to use in the way that you fish.
Yeah, because when I sold, my planer boards and stuff, when I chip them, I'd ship them with the rods not in. And people putting the rods in backwards is wondering why, on the wrong side, is wondering why they wasn't pulling right. I'd have to explain to them, then they'd figure out, oh, yeah, now they pull like you're supposed to.
There you go. Yeah, and there's little bitty details, and I mean, I have so many to ask me about that little clip on the bottom. And guys and gals, this man right here on the screen, he's the one that turned me on to those. He's the one that turned me on to the dragon caps, and they're going to be called DRAAGON, like a dragon, dragon floats. You're going to have dragon floats. But anyway, so those clips, you use them on your planer boards. Yeah. You never had a problem with them, have you?
No, never have.
And they're easy on, easy off.
Yeah. The easiest, especially when you fish by yourself. And you got to get the planer board off by yourself. You ain't got nobody else in the boat to help you. And so I want it to come off quick. It's why I found them, so I can. And they work real well. And that's why I suggested them to you.
Right, and I never really liked them daggum pigtail clips.
Oh, no.
Some guns aggravating as crap.
Yep, they sure are. Because I used to build them that way, and now I had to find something easier.
Yeah, and me and Lyle, when Lyle was lost a few up there in Wisconsin out there fishing with them channel cats, he's the only person I've ever heard. And it might have happened to other people and they just haven't said anything to me. But them channel cats in that shallow water was coming up and they were just so vicious that they were slinging some of them off. Well, we figured out, I told him, I said, well, try a piece of airline on it. He slid a piece of airline up there and it never slung no more off.
Yep, that's a good idea right there.
Yeah, so.
And I might even think about doing that on the planer boards too.
I wish that company would make one size bigger on those clips.
Yeah, I do too. I think the number 2 is the biggest.
Yep, number 2 is the biggest.
Yeah.
If they had number 1s, that would be the perfect size for what we use them for. So I'm gonna try to contact them and see if I can't talk them into making some the next size up.
I got about 500 of them number 2s.
Do you? Oh yeah. That's what I do. Mr. Burke found them. He was able to buy them for me. He bought like 1,000 of them in bulk.
Yeah.
And it actually saved me some money.
And also, I can give them a little bit of tip on planer boards too. When you clipping your line on your front clip on your planer board, your squeeze clip, you'll take and give your line a twist and put it in behind the nipple and pull it down. A lot of times on your heavier boards, your line will tend to want to slide down your line. So if you give it a twist, put it in behind there, it'll lock it down, and your board won't twist or your board won't slip down the line as you're reeling it in or anything like that. And a lot of times if you break it off, it'll still be attached to your board. 90% of the time, you're not going to have to chase your board if it's floating away. It'll stay attached to the line that's hung up on the bottom or whatever.
I hear you. LG Bass, are y'all having a show tonight? You and Pontoon Jody? If you are, give yourself a shout out and let people know that it's coming on tonight. And guys and gals, I'm sorry I ain't been able to watch a lot of y'all stuff going on right now. And Junior, he's been working himself to death, a lot of other people. So it ain't that we don't want to watch and support y'all guys and gals. We do. And we appreciate each and every one of you for your support on our show and our channel and our products. So you think you're going to be able to slow down by fall and start producing some more of those planer boards?
Yeah. As long as the price comes down on that Lexan.
Yeah,
I use Lexan on mine. I don't use plexiglass. I want something durable.
Right.
That stuff's got to come down for me to sell them at a decent price. And but that stuff's just so high right now.
They taking a night off, guys and gals, tonight. All right, LG, I just want to make sure you had a shout out if y'all was. Lexan's expensive. It's always been higher than the plexiglass and stuff like that, but it's lighter than plexiglass.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I abuse my equipment. I really do. I throw them down in the boat. They get stepped on and everything else. The first time you step on a piece of plexiglass, it's going to break in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I build mine out of Lexan. But I hadn't been able to put any videos out here lately, but because of work and everything else, just ain't had the time. But here it's starting to slack up a little bit, so I think we're back on 14. So I'm gonna get back on trying to get some videos out.
Well, there's a new and hot mess fishing. Been sick for days. Well, I'm sorry, lady. Sorry you're sick, but I thank you for coming in and supporting our show and our channel. And hopefully we share some good information for all of y'all that you can use. But don't forget, guys and gals, if you are fishing your summertime tournaments and you're keeping fish in live wells, please think about building you a cooler to cool that water down and take care of those fish. And winning just $100 is not worth killing a monster fish. If you see him start not looking right, put him back. Don't let that fish die on you.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be sure to keep you some frozen water in there too, just to help.
Yeah. So it takes all of us working together to really keep our waters and our fish.
We want our children and our grandchildren to be able to catch these fish that we catch.
Yeah.
That's why I fish this. That's why I like to stress on catch and release. As far as it ain't nothing wrong with keeping eaters. Nothing.
No.
These bigger fish. Me personally, I'm gonna let them go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the Jew I was talking to was talking about. No, I was talking to somebody. Maybe you. I don't know. Anyway, I was talking about they go to catch bluegill, and a lot of times, I was talking to James Burt, and he said he's got a place, a lake up there, that they go out and try to catch bluegill and perch and stuff, and they'll end up catching probably as many channel cats as they do perch and brim using brim bait.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of lake right there. It probably will do that lake good to take out fish.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Murray's got a lot of channel cats in it, and they're that way. You can catch a lot of channel cats in Lake Murray. And but I prefer, eating the blues, but all of them eat real well.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, selective harvest is a good thing if done right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get in the back of my truck. Oh, I hear you, Irvin. Yeah, you're like me, Irvin. Finding the time to go fishing is my problem. I got to take a day and go, though, Junior. I really do. I got one of those memories that pop up on your Facebook. And it was 4 years ago, June 12th, I think. I can't remember. Is when I caught my big blue. And, I'm glad I caught her. That was my PB. It was 44 pounds. But I would have liked to caught her when her belly was full and she was just not straight coming off the bed,
Yeah.
That fish looked like a daggum. It looked like a 44-pound fish with a 60-pound fish head on it. You
Yeah,
know.
but I bet when she hit that line, she hit it hard though.
She buried the freaking rod, son.
She was hungry.
I had found a largemouth bass floating. Big old bass, probably about 3 pounds. I would never kill a 3-pound bass. I wouldn't. Now, 2 pound under, he might be good bait. But anything that's above that, I consider a good trophy fish, and I would never kill that fish. But I had that whole head and part of the body on a double hook rig.
Mm-hmm.
So when she buried up and swallowed that whole freaking, well, she didn't swallow it. When she grabbed that whole freaking head, she got a mouthful of hooks too. So she was coming to the boat.
Yep.
And I actually caught her on a $20 catfish rod.
Mm-hmm.
I had Abu reel on it, and I had good Andy line, but the rod is one of those. I ain't got one up here. It was catfish. It's a $20 rod. And, you know, I've had those rods, what we was talking about earlier with rods. I had one hung, and I used 30-pound Andy. And I had that flathead on, called a flathead off the front rod on the boat. And this was right there by my bimini top pole. Well, I was coming through the mouth of the South Fork, dragging baits, and it got hung. And it pulled that rod all the way around, wrapped it around my bimini pole on my bimini top, and I thought, you know, there goes a $20 rod. I just busted that rod all to crap. And it finally, the leader stretched out, and there's so much sharp stuff down there, it popped and come loose. And I checked that rod over good, and I still got that freaking rod.
Yeah.
Now, and that's what I call big. Yeah. It is, and I like, in a way, I like those rods because they're light.
Mm-hmm.
There's some kind of carbon, whatever, but they're cheap rods, but they're light.
Yeah.
They don't have the best eyes, but, you know, but anyway, and they don't have the backbone. But that's what I'm saying. If that fish would have been good, full of energy and stuff like that, because I caught her right beside my anchor rope. I don't think that rod would have given me the control of that fish as like a big cat fever or one of these other rods or like my Burke rods. It don't have the backbone for controlling.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've seen the times when you needed that extra little to get that fish away from your lines or a stump or a tree or whatever. You need that.
Yeah, I had them do me that way. That's why I kind of went to different rods because I was using them other ones, and it didn't have enough backbone. That Monticello got into one that got into the timber, just kept pulling, couldn't get it turned, or couldn't do nothing with it. Didn't have enough backbone in the rod.
Right. And that's one, and you know, like some rods, like the Shakespeare Ugly Sticks, they got more of a parabolic bend to them. And the big cat fevers and these other, you know, custom rods and stuff like that, you got that bend only at the top end of it. Then it hits that backbone and you got control.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's Chad Nolte. Appreciate you coming in. But catching moon eye with a fly rod. Oh, I hear you. We don't have none of them skipjack or moon eye around here.
No.
Now, where you used to live, did you live in waters where that fish was prevalent?
Who, me?
Yeah.
What, moon eye?
Yeah.
Not on, because I lived down next to Tellico Lake, and they wasn't, at that time, they wasn't. They may be there now. That was back in the early 90s, you know, but they probably is. But down on Washbar and stuff, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we call it a night, and I know you about ready. You like me, we're old men. It's about time for bedtime. But
yeah, shower in the bed.
One little tip you can give everybody for after the spawn catfish.
Patience. That's the main thing. Patience. because a lot of fish, all of them don't spawn at the same time, you know. But when they coming off, they'll be coming off little at a time. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And to be patient, you ain't gonna catch as many fish, but chances are some of your better fish, you can catch some better fish that way too. You know.
Yeah.
But
I noticed that it seemed like after the spawn, if I can find the mussel beds and fish close to mussel beds, I do better after the spawn.
yeah, because they're gonna go for the easiest thing to eat as soon as they come off, just to try to get full.
Yeah.
They gonna go for what's easy, where they don't have to chase a whole lot. That's
Yeah.
why I always, that's why I always try to pull at point three. It don't matter what point three. If I get to point five, point six, I think I'm racing. I think I'm trying to pull a skier. You
Yeah.
know, so that's why I try to slow everything down like I'm almost anchored.
Yeah. I almost treat in the middle of the summers after spawn about like I fish during the dip of the winter.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Now,
really.
25 to 30 feet of water, 35 feet is what I'd concentrate on from mid June through July and August. I don't try to go to deep water because you're going to start having
Right.
thermoclines and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right. Right.
And I'm not going to go down to the lake, try to fish in the deeper water and try to fish above the thermocline. I'm going to head toward the river sections and try to fish the river section where the water's shallower. They'll be hugging the bottom more down in the mud.
And you got more current.
Yes. And that way you probably ain't going to have as much of the thermocline. You can drag the bottom, not be on the thermocline. You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
But try to stay out of that thermocline.
Now, have you ever used your planter boards and those bobbers to drag baits and suspend baits underneath them if the fish are suspended above that thermocline?
Yes, I have. And I'm going to do a video on that, on dragging suspended in Monticello in deep water, in
That would
40,
be cool.
50, 60 feet of water, spinning above treetops. I'm going to do a video on that. And
Now, when you go to do it, I'll come down and be your cameraman because I want to go. I've never fished Monticello, and I like to come down and fish with you anyway. So, regardless, but I'd like to use that time. Then I can do your video and stuff like that, and be some great information to be brought out with that.
Yep, we can go down
Now,
there.
do you use the floats on Monticello too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The floats is the first thing I put out. Period.
There you go.
I'm gonna put them out. I put two of them out regardless, because they going straight out the back of the boat. So that way I ain't got to worry about the planter boards or nothing when I throw them out to the side. Yep, I
There you
use
go.
them religiously.
Well, I appreciate it. There's Mr. Lyles in the house with us tonight, the Texas Tiger.
Wow, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah. The guys and gals, it's a little after 9 o'clock. Junior, I thank you for coming in, jumping in here with us. Nobody else wanted to be on camera tonight, I guess. And
well, I wasn't gonna leave you hanging.
Well, you know me, I'll fill up the time somehow.
I'm finally trying to get a little bit of time, from working all the time and everything else, and ain't been so tired and all that. So,
Yeah.
I figured I'd try to get in here. Nobody else didn't want to get in there, so I figured I'd get in here with you, buddy.
I appreciate it. There's two Stans coming in. He said he'd been watching and listening. Another great show. I thank you, Stan. A good guy, man. Stan catching some good fish off the bank up there, boys. Yeah, and I mean, it's fun catching those big fish off a boat, Junior. But when you sitting back, kick back on the daggum bank and one of those rods take off and peel and dragging you on the bank and you thinking, oh, crap, now what's in the water around me? I'm going to know I'm going to have to wiggle this fish around.
Yeah.
There's a whole different scheme of fishing off the bank for big fish.
I just happened to see a video the other day that was on Facebook or something. I can't remember what it was on. This guy had 3 rods out on the bank. Next thing you know, something hit and pulling, dragging, just yanked his whole rod and reel and everything off down in the water. And he run over there trying to catch it and all that. He said, well, there's a rod gone. If that had been me, I'd have been in the water after it.
Now, see, somebody just posted up a video just about like it. They had 3 rods, but he went in the water after it.
Yeah.
And he got it.
He said, I just lost my rod and reel.
No, 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 no. Now, if it's 20 degrees outside now, that rod and reel, I'm sorry, we'll try to hook it with another rod and reel. I ain't going in 20-degree water.
Yeah.
But, well, Junior, I thank you. As always, brother,
Yeah, buddy.
You are a good inspiration to the people out here in the catfish world. You shared a lot of knowledge. You don't mind sharing knowledge and trying to help people out.
Anytime I can help them.
And you make some beautiful planter boards, and you show people out like working on the boats and stuff. How's your brother's boat coming?
Oh, that's my son's boat.
Son's boat.
We got the engine on it. I ain't been able to help him much. So
Right.
And he's been working quite a bit too. So it's going just a little slower than what we was planning. But it's coming along. He's going to start getting back on it pretty hard here soon.
Now, is he a big cat fisherman too?
Yeah, he likes a noodle, but he always turns them all back.
Right.
But he catfishes also. But he's got his little bit of style different than mine. But he's probably more versed than I am. Because I'm just one of them. It's just not going to anchor, not unless I just absolutely have to.
Right.
So I'm on the dragger.
But we can learn from people like that. That fish is different than we do. I mean, there's everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. I won't knock the people that noodle for sport and turn those fishes loose. But in a way, as long as they're not doing it during the spawn, that's what bothers me. Because I've seen a lot of studies, and they say that a catfish usually, once you take him off the bed, he might not go back. He's not like a sunfish. You can catch a brim, throw him back in the water, that sucker will run straight back to the bed.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Freddie, we'll get together again, buddy. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, Freddie, man, the catfish world opened their arms and welcomed him right on in, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. I think he had a good time when we fished together. I get him on the pontoon boat, and he'll have a real good time.
Yeah. So, but Junior, I thank you, buddy. Give me a holler if you need anything. I ain't far from you. We'll hit the road rolling, and everybody coming in, God bless you. God bless America. Thank you for coming in. Be safe out there on the water. Drink plenty of water. Stay cool, as cool as you can. Keep your fish, if you're keeping them in a live well, try to keep them cool too, guys and gals, so we can turn them back live.
That's right.
We'll see y'all next Wednesday night.
Everybody
Tomorrow night, Chad and Freddie's got a show coming on, so don't forget, guys. Go on there, check it. Then after that, Mark will be on. God bless, guys. We'll see y'all later. Don't run off, you.
All right.